Hello, this is Pastor Williams, and I greet you with Jesus' joy. As we go through this coronavirus crisis, I want to share with you just some daily devotionals to stay in touch with you and encourage your spirit. So we want to start today. Some of you can recall, if you're like me, a Martin Lawrence fan, you can recall his sitcom Martin that bears his name. And there are a whole host of hilarious incidences that take place in any of his episodes. But one thing that almost inevitably takes place in just about every one of the episodes is he ends up kicking somebody out of his apartment. He'll either point to the door, or he'll go to the door, open it, and point out, and he'll say, "Get to stepping." And that's kind of comical, but it reminds me of something that takes place in the scriptures in Luke chapter 17, around verse 14 and following. Jesus is going near Samaria, and he runs into 10 lepers, 10 men who are suffering from leprosy. And they no doubt have heard about him. His popularity is pulsating throughout Palestine. And even though they are Samaritans, with the exception of one who's a Jew, they know he has power. And so like a choir who has rehearsed a common song, they see him and in the key of need cry out, "Son of David, have mercy on us." What is interesting is Jesus' response. Jesus says, "Go show yourself to the priest." What was interesting about it is that they still had leprosy, and you don't show yourself to the priest until you are cured of leprosy, and you go to the priest so that you can get a certificate that says you are, in fact, clean. But they were still covered with leprosy, but they did what Jesus said. They started walking, or they got to stepping, if you will. And even though it didn't make any sense, they did it because Jesus said so. They did it by faith. And the Bible says, as they were going, they were healed. Oftentimes, my brothers and sisters, challenges or crises or hardships that come upon us, we can never really adequately and effectively deal with them if we feel sorry for ourselves or if we just pray and expect God to do all the work. Sometimes we have to get to stepping. In other words, we have to get going, doing the things we know to do, what Jesus says to do, even if we don't always know the outcome or we don't exactly know what God is going to do. We have to have faith in God, follow his instructions in the midst of whatever we're challenged by. And sometimes it doesn't happen immediately, but as we are going, God steps in. And that's something to remember as we go through this crisis, or it's something to remember as you go through any challenges in life. And that is, don't sit around, don't feel sorry for yourself, don't let the enemy win, don't give in, but by faith, get to stepping. And as you're stepping, watch God step in and do a miracle. God bless you. Remember that today. Walk by faith and watch God get involved.